Hey, this is for the class for textiles, so I wanted to introduce you to some wool that was sold to me as merino wool. It did have a merino wool label in blue on the salvage. I don't know where it is. All I know is that this was really on sale, about 50% off, and it was a remnant of 11 yards left over after there was no more left. So um, I bought all of it, and it turned out to be absolutely amazing. This is a Burgundian style gown. It will have sleeves, it will have closure buttons that will show, it will have a belt, it will have an undergirdle. Now, in history, wool was a very important fabric because um, our planet was a lot colder during the Middle Ages. Between the time of the 10th century and the 17th century, it was actually an average of 4 to 6 degrees cooler everywhere. So you can imagine how much colder the winter was. So wool was very important for that. It was also warm in the summer, so it was important to be able to have clothes that was flexible because clothing was expensive and you needed a dress like this one to be okay for every single season of the year. So that's why wool was so expensive. Wool was special, and there were some versions of wool that were homespun that worked well for lower income families. Wool that was made in special mills like this would have cost a lot more. The finer the weight, and the more thread count, and the smoother and softer the wool was, the more expensive it was, just like it is now. But there are heavier weight wools that are more expensive as well. I would like to say that this sewing form is actually shorter than me, so it doesn't really have that much at the bottom when I wear it. Maybe about 5 inches trailing on the ground. But the way it pleats in the front is really great, and it just conforms so well. So I also did a post of me wearing the gown, and I'd like everyone to see that and look that up on my YouTube channel, Carmina Brown, the Messy Unicorn. And I would also like to show you this dress over here, my green sheath dress that I made to sell. And it's made out of an Irish wool that's much scratchier. So I did line it with satin, but it's poly satin, so I might switch out the lining. I don't know. It's a very warm dress because this is a slightly heavier wool. It's slightly stiffer. It's better for a more tailored look like this. And because it's reinforced with all this embroidery, it makes the fabric even stronger. Wool takes embroidery very well. I would recommend that if you don't want to use linen for embroidery, that you could use white wool, and it would stand up to wear and tear even better than linen in some cases. If you had a high wearing pillow of sorts, a wool pillowcase might be something to think about, probably in a super or something like that. Now, a super is when the thread count of the wool is higher, just like the thread count in sheets. And this dress doesn't really fit me, so I can't put it on, but I might bring it in and have somebody try it on for me. So I don't know. I am selling it, but I don't want to be a hawker on my my school assignment, so I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you that this stuff was so easy to work with, and putting in the zipper was super easy. You see the stitches along the edge went in nice and straight, and it hasn't really been pressed that well, so I might press it and see if it looks even better. But even without pressing and just draping it, cutting it, and sewing it, it still turned out really well because the wool is so cooperative. And it's the same story with the red dress. It was very cooperative to work with. It wanted to go where I told it to go. It listened to me. And it was like garment whispering. I don't know, sewing whispering. I don't know if there's the same thing for horses, but there's got to be the same thing for sewing. So, and when you encounter that, you know you're probably working with a good fabric. So, this stuff is very soft, this wool, and I'll show you how drapey it is in just a minute. Let me stand up. So you see this beautiful drape it has, and in this in-hand feel where it doesn't wrinkle, and it just rustles, and it just makes a beautiful sound, and the thinness is very fine. See how thin that is? Very fine wool, probably pretty close to a super, but not really. And it sewed really well. Took to sewing really well, the fur on, and has a really great drape in the back. So yeah, keep it in mind both for modern clothes like this sheath dress and for historical clothes like this medieval gown, this Renaissance gown, which could be both. I would definitely recommend wool because it's great for a beginner sewer because it would cooperate well with them, and also it's just historically accurate, and it behaves so well, and it's so pretty. It just but I guess I should stop the video now because I've ran out of things to say. But yeah, awesome. Bye.